Hi,
I'm Hannah,
and I'm Mac.
and we're back with a new YouTube video on Cyberfreeze.
Tu, tu, tu.
Yes, and for today's video, it's right around Halloween, so I got these on. But today, we're gonna do what Mac came up with. This is all Mac's idea, so shout out Mac, shout out Mac.
Telling you our top 5 favorite K dramas and our top 5 least favorite K dramas.
Yeah.
The other person doesn't know our list, so it's
Oh yeah,
also a prize.
this is a reveal. So I have a question, so we can get a grasp. How would you qualify something as your favorite K drama? Like, where you like that's my favorite? Do you have qualifications?
I think for me, one, I was happy to finish the whole drama. Like I liked watching it. And two, I was happy with the overall outcome and everything. And I like the characters.
Oh, okay. So you're like an outcome. Okay.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
oh, keep going. Finger in there. I am a vibes where I'm like I could rewatch it. I love the vibes because I don't have a good memory, so I remember like the vibes of watching something.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's how I characterize. That's how I figure out what my favorite K dramas are. Feel free to comment yours down below as well.
There might be spoilers in there that
Yeah,
slip
yeah.
out. So if a certain K drama name comes up that you haven't seen, that you don't want spoiled, then just click on to the next one.
Yes. So yeah, let's get right into it though.
Let's go.
All right, Max favorite.
All right, everyone. This is my number 5 favorite K drama, which is Flower of Evil.
Oh shoot, that's on my watch list, so I have to cover my ears for spoilers.
I won't spoil too much because I feel like this drama you have to watch it with not knowing anything going on. Like a little, um, it's so good though. I'll give like an overview without going into it. Basically, it follows this family. The mom is a cop, a detective, and her husband is like a welder as far as she knows. Oh,
As far as she
an
knows.
adorable little daughter, and basically there's some murders that happen, and basically the wife starts to realize that her husband might not be who he says he is.
Oh,
Dun, dun.
oh my gosh, okay. That has, I know who's in it because I remember if y'all didn't have Vicky Premium back in 2020, it was the commercial that was on all the time.
Definitely should watch,
Maybe I'll watch.
especially this time of year.
Yeah, yeah. Hurry up before it's Halloween, guys.
All right, your turn. I'm excited.
All right. My fifth one is Alchemy of Souls. Have you seen it?
Oh yes.
Okay, yeah. It's so good. I don't have like a oh my god, what's it about? Because to be honest, I didn't write that, but I wrote like what I liked about it. And
Uh-huh.
I've seen a lot of mixed opinions, but I personally feel like it mixed romance and like fantasy storylines so well. Cause and every character I just loved, every character you're supposed to love. Even the characters you weren't supposed to love, they're kind of funny, except for one. Peeved me off. You know who you are. No. But yeah, I feel like it just followed the storyline really well. Everything mixed perfectly, comedy and serious mixed really well, and I was never bored. And the soundtrack was bopping. The soundtrack when there's like the cool walk-in scenes, it was like
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I just think it was perfect.
Now, our number 5 least favorite K dramas. Mine could be controversial to some. I feel like this drama, you either love it or you hated it. And so, if you're one of the people who loved it, don't come for me. But I did not like this drama. Number 5 for me is Startup.
Startup, oh, I can see I for why.
The main male lead irritated me. Also, I was hardcore team second male lead, so I won't spoil the ending, but we all know how K dramas go.
Yeah.
And I was so peeved with the way that they were treating that man. Also, the main male lead's friends irritated me so much.
I don't remember watching it and being like, Slay. Only that like one sleepovers episode I remember, and I was like, Slay, this is so fun. Can I add opinion to this too? I feel like they were gonna cast like a famous actor as the lead because I remember his opening scene. I remember being like, I don't really care for you. Like they're making it seem like I'm supposed to like you, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
My fifth least favorite. I got episode 1. I was so mad. I was like, "You're on my list," and that is She Would Never Know.
Yes.
Hated
Oh my
it.
god.
Hated it. I literally have a whole paragraph here on why I hated it, but I'll sum it up. Basically, it didn't give you time to ship them. They just shoved them together and was like, "You will accept this." And the male lead was being a little bean. Like the last scene of the first episode in the hallway, and he was like, "You will make time to go out with me," or something. It was like, am I supposed to be like, "Ooh"? No, I'm like, "Be freaky." It just made me mad.
Yeah. I remember when it trailered whatever, and because Roan's in it, I was like, oh, because his last one was so good. So I was like, oh, I'm excited for that. And then I started seeing clips come out, and I was like, ooh.
And also, the first episode felt like a middle episode. I remember I kept checking, like, is this the first episode? I don't like how that was at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, our number 4 favorite dramas. Mine, honestly, probably like a couple months ago would have been higher, but other dramas have come along that I've liked more. But my number 4 is My Roommate is a Gangmi-ho.
Oh, so good.
This was one of those dramas that it got me out of my like drama slump because I actually finished this drama, like, and I was like happy to like watch every episode.
Yes.
So to give like a overview, because I feel like maybe if you don't know what this drama is about, you're like, what the heck is that? Basically, we follow our main family who's a college student. She runs into this guy who is a nine-tailed fox, and she ends up swallowing his bead. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's his
No
energy.
innuendo. It's like, it's a real
It's
beat.
literal. And basically it starts with him like kind of forcing her to move in with him until he can get the beat out, and it goes from there. But this drama is so good. I will say the only one thing I didn't care about was the second male lead.
See, I don't even remember this man, so I guess I didn't care either.
They kept popping up, and first of all, he was not likable because of something that he did. He literally approaches her on a bet, because she's very much like from the get-go, like, I don't like you, leave me alone, and he keeps freaking popping up everywhere. And then it's like revealed that the reason why is because they have the red string of fate, and I was like,
Oh yeah, I remember being so scared. I was like, oh no, oh
I was like, no. I think if they had made him more likable, it would have been one thing, but he started off
no.
unlikable.
Wasn't he rich too?
Yeah.
That started my inhyuk phase, everyone. Oh my god, that's so funny. That started my inhyuk phase. Watch Cheer Up stream.
Thing is, the actor, I like the actor, but the freaking character he played in it, I loved the two main characters together so much that anytime he popped up trying to be like, you wanna go on a date with me? I'm like, go away.
Yeah, I get that.
I loved the ending. The ending was perfect. And yeah, absolutely love it.
My fourth is Mr. Queen.
Oh my god, I forgot about Mr.
Yes.
Queen. Oh
Yes, so good. I remember Mac was like, "Oh, you should watch it," and then I was like, "No," and then I started watching every drama his son was in because I love her so much, and then I love this show so much. This is what I wrote because I feel like if I don't read, I go on long tangents. It's a show that perfectly mixed the comedy and seriousness. Sometimes historical dramas are boring, in my opinion, but this one was just so good. I felt like they did just enough. I will say, I wasn't a fan of the ending though. I understand. I won't spoil it because I haven't heard many people. I know it's popular, but I haven't heard like many people, so I won't spoil it. It's on Vicky. But I get the ending, but I wish not. You know, like
yeah.
I get the reason, but I wish it didn't happen. Also, it started out kind of slow, but after you get into it, it's so good. And I feel like it's really easy to follow, even though it's kind of chaotic. She's real chaotic. And it had me laughing out loud, and I just loved it. I just think it was so good, and I just think it was amazing, and I just remember having such a fun time watching it. And I sobbed when it was over. Like, sobbed and sat there, like, what am I supposed to do with that?
No, yeah, it's such a good drama. I kept telling her you need to watch it. And she was like, and I was like, no, you need to watch it.
Yeah, she kept saying, you need to watch it, you need to watch it. Right after I finished it, I was like, guess what show I just finished?
Now is number 4, least favorite. And this one, I literally stopped watching on episode 5, I think, because I literally just could not physically watch anymore. It's called Kill It.
Really? That's on my watch list.
Oh, oh, I hated this drama. The biggest issue in this drama for me was the female lead. I found her so irritating, which is so sad because the actress who plays her, I love her. She's iconic, but her character in it, maybe it's because in real life, one of the things I hate most is when people don't respect boundaries. And her entire character in this drama is her, like, basically she moves into this apartment next to the male lead. He's like got a whole bunch of secretive stuff going on. And she literally doesn't know him, but she immediately starts to like dig through his stuff and like start snooping around his business. He runs like a vet office and she's all like knocking on his door like, oh, can I come in? And he keeps being like, can you like leave me alone? And then he basically takes care of like a high school student that he's known since she was younger, which I won't spoil how he knows her or whatever. But she's also connected to the female lead. And when the female lead finds out how they're connected, she gives no care about this girl's trauma and is like, you need to tell me this, you need to tell me that, because I need to know. And every time she popped up on screen, I was like, oh my God, I could not do it. I mean, how are you supposed to finish a drama when one of the main characters is irritating?
Yeah.
And it was, for me, it was just like, because I loved everything else about the drama. I loved the storyline. I loved the other characters. But she was just so, that character was just so irritating. I could not do it.
I get that. My number 4 is, I don't think you've watched this either, is To All the Guys Who Loved Me. Horrendous. I stopped at episode 5 as well, which is crazy. It deals with past life, so I was really excited because I love past life dramas. Like Chicago Typewriter is such a good past life drama, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. But this is just not it. How the story flowed was horrendous. My whole thing, as well as like story flow. If I don't like the story flow, I don't like the show.
Mm-hmm.
So because it dealt with past lives, they like knew each other in a past life, right? The main couple. So it would show like, okay, let's say he rescued her in a barn. Girl, I'm making that up. In the past life. So then that exact thing is happening in the exact real time. So you know what's gonna happen. You know he's gonna trip over the rock and rescue her, you know? It was too predictable. And it wasn't even like once for like, is he? Oh, he does. Because every other time he did it. It was every single time it was that same storyline. So it was so stupid to me. And like it was kind of funny, but it kind of dragged. Like they were trying to hit it with like comedy, and it was, I think it was made in 2020, but it was such like 2015 K drama comedy, which isn't really up my alley. It was just awful. I just hated it. I was like mad because the main girl, she was a Mystic Pop-Up Bar, so I had so many expectations because I love that show.
Okay, yeah.
And she's so funny in that show, so I was like, oh my god, like yes, and then no.
Number 3 on our favorites. Mine is Tale of the Nine Tails.
Okay, no spoilers.
No spoilers, no spoilers. Okay. I love this drama. I love this drama. First of all, the actor who plays the main male lead, I love him to death. Love him. Like, favorite thing about this whole drama was the brother relationship. I loved it so much. And I won't say anything about the ending because I don't know if you know the ending.
I know you spoiled it for me in 2020, and I'm trying not to remember. Like my brain is trying to remember, and I don't want to.
I will say the ending had me bawling. I was so like with the ending. So I won't like I won't go into detail. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you eventually will. I loved the whole story about it because I love like fantasy dramas and I love when there's like mythical creatures involved. And this was so good. And the main melody is just like perfect. So absolutely adore this drama. And they're making it season 2.
Yeah, I was gonna wait.
I was like,
Yeah. I started watching it now because I was waiting for season 2, but then it said it's gonna come out in like 2023. And then I remember you told me you cried at the end. It was like really sad or upsetting or something. And I was like, well, season 2's happening. It can't be that horrendous.
Season 2 is a prequel.
So guys, I'm not watching I was kidding. A prequel? I don't even
Yeah,
know.
it takes place like 100 years before the
Their
current
past
war.
life together?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I felt my heart already kind of palpitate, so I'm like so nervous of when I know what's happening. Okay.
Here, I will say definitely watch season 1 and then like don't wait for season 2 to watch because it will make season 2 more better.
Yeah. And I feel like they put them in the order for a reason, so I should do that. I'm nervous though now. You made me nervous. My third favorite is Vincenzo.
Oh my god.
I
Yes.
love Vincenzo. I regard this show as a masterpiece. For me, it did start out slow. I feel like because I just watched something and then I tried to watch Vincenzo and my brain was like, no. But I think it's so good. Another thing, obviously, by all my explanations, you can tell is I love a good mix of comedy and seriousness. And for how serious the show was, I love the comedy because I love a good like neighborhood comedy.
Yeah.
Friend, this show was really it for me. The villains were terrifying. I stand to BM after this because I was like, I can't leave it at how we left.
Vincenzo's so good. I somehow Vincenzo did not end up on my list. I'll say. But Vincenzo is so good. That's one drama that I can like literally rewatch over and over. Like I literally just like 2 months ago like rewatched it for like the fourth time.
I was rewatching with someone I'm close to, and mother freaking, they didn't like it. Yeah. And then I was like, wait, because there's that big turning point where it's like, no, it's getting so good. Sometimes I just sit and think about that one scene where he shows up to Tegan's character's house.
Oh my god, yes.
Bro, that started my song Juki face. Guys, don't do it. Don't go down the song Juki rabbit hole, please.
I'm always in that phase.
I'm blushing.
Been there since Descent of the Sun.
Oh yeah, Descent of the Sun wasn't really like I was like, oh fun, but I wasn't. It didn't introduce me to my song Juki face until Vincenzo. Hannah, what does that say about Hannah?
Let me tell you something. I finished this drama because I was waiting. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna end this without giving me what I need. What the people watching this, deserves. This is Do You Like Brums?
No, I was about to watch it because I want to watch it because Minji's in it. Why are you ruining all these dramas for me, Max?
Listen, I was so excited for this drama. This drama is a classical music drama. So it's all about these prodigies playing classical music, whatever. And our main female lead is so likable. She's so likable. I wanted the best for her. She was so sweet, so nice, and she got treated like dirt by everyone around her. So she originally like went to school for like business or something. I can't even remember. But basically her whole dream this whole time is that she wants to be a violinist. So she gets into this college for classically trained people and she's doing her thing and she meets the male lead. And there's a reason why this drama has Brahms in it, which they tell the whole story, but Brahms is a classical music composer. And his like most famous piece is basically about the fact that he was in love with his best friend's wife. So this whole thing, the male lead is in this weird little triangle without the female lead where he likes his best friend's girlfriend. Basically something happens and he's like, oh, I'm not going to talk to her anymore, right? So he's kind of closed off. He's kind of grumpy, whatever. Eventually, he meets the female lead, and she gets him to open up. They start dating, and then here comes the mother freaking girlfriend of his best friend. When I tell you, I hated this woman so much. Basically, she can't handle the fact that he's got a girlfriend, and she starts getting in between them while she's still with her boyfriend. The thing that upset me the most about this drama was she does something that directly results in the main couple breaking up. And I'm waiting for the main lead to find out that she did it and like confront her. He never finds out.
Oh, I hate storylines like that.
She never has any consequences at all.
I don't like that. I love a good like we gotta get her back.
That's just why I hated this drama so much. And I kept watching because I'm like, surely, eventually, she's gonna get her comeuppance. But it literally ends with like the female lead forgiving her, being like, "It's okay, I forgive you." I'm like,
No. Oh my
"Forgive
god.
her."
So it was a frustrating drama.
It was so frustrating.
Mine is like on the opposite, where I like found it super boring, and that is Romance in the Bonus Book.
Like, yeah.
I hated this show so much. Sorry, I gotta read my notes because I don't remember anything. So I only continued watching the show because one, I was in my like Jones. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation phase at that time, so I was like, I need to watch it. Two, I was curious about the storyline. It was just the execution was so boring. Honestly, I forgot what was going on. But I was curious about it apparently, and that's the only reason why I finished it.
I remember I contemplated watching it because it was like his last one before he went in the military or whatever. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch it. And then every clip I saw of it, I was like, this just looks boring.
Yes, and it was. But I just remember being so mad and so bored. I remember one time I was like, I'm gonna stop watching it, but I was like, no, you're too far. You gotta finish it.
One, number two of our favorite dramas. Mine, this drama now holds a special place in my heart. That's how much I love this drama. I binged it literally like I watched every week that this drama came out. And that is Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, yes, Mackie loved tomorrow.
This drama made me cry. It made me laugh. Like literally there was parts of the drama I was sobbing, but I was like still loved watching it. I loved the dynamic of the main three characters. I loved how everyone got their own backstory. Everyone had their own like thing, and I loved it. Basically, this drama deals with like past lives, and it really follows some Grim Reapers out here doing their thing, picking up souls and escorting them to the afterlife. And every episode is its own kind of little mini story in that you see like the people who are about to pass, and these two Grim Reapers are in this department that the whole point is they're trying to prevent people from dying, people who want to themselves. Um and they're trying to stop it. And so they're trying to like help these people not move on. Just like good little life lessons. Like it really just shows these stories. Some of them are very heavy, so definitely check the trigger warnings for this show because some of them are pretty dark and heavy. Executed very well and all laid out very well, and I just loved it. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
The cast is amazing. Like they did perfect casting. This is actually based off of a webtoon. So if any of you have seen the webtoon, then I think Roan redeemed himself from the last one we talked about of his on this list. I actually liked that ending. It was kind of bittersweet, but it was very like you knew that at the very very end it was gonna be a fun little thing. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wrapped up very nicely. If you're looking for a
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
wraps up, and it didn't make me feel empty. Like I went right into my normal daily routine after. Normally, I'm like not. That doesn't happen for me. So just know it was a good. Just know it was pretty good. My second on the list is like so opposite of tomorrow. I think it's hilarious. Mine is Welcome to Waikiki. I'll put
Yes.
season 1 and 2. I'm just gonna grip it as a show. Grip it, girl. Grip it as a show, I guess. I've never laughed so hard while watching like a K drama specifically
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I like, for me, when I'm reading and I'm trying to focus, I'm not gonna bust out laughing. Like I need to concentrate. But this one, I was cracking up. I remember one point I had to pause it because I had to shut my eyes to laugh. Like it's so good. I love the vibes. This is a show. If you like New Girl, sign yourself up for this show. If you love a good like living together roommates, this is the one for you. So funny.
One thing I love the addedness of the baby. I'm gonna say it, I love
Yes.
the addedness of the baby.
If you like Baby Daddy, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. No, yeah, yeah, and like season 1 and 2, you would think like, oh, like it won't flow well because there's different characters in season 2. But at first I was like, but then I got introduced to Sunho and I said, hey, no, no, but yeah, season 1 and 2 are both good though. Genuinely so funny. I liked all the characters. There's characters that get introduced where you're like but then you like them. Just keep that in mind. Spoiler. It's just so good, so funny. I need to rewatch it. What are we doing today? Maybe. So good. I love it.
All right, everyone. Our second least favorite drama. This, I'm gonna say this one, and I know Hannah has a very different opinion of me on this drama.
I feel like I know it.
Number 2 on my list is Tempted. First of all, I love Joy. And I like the actor who plays the male lead. So I was like, oh, I'm excited for this. And then I was watching it. And again, it had so much potential. And it started off good. And I was like, ooh, okay. They're like scheming, planning. They've got like a whole board. And then once it got to like the point where they were in a relationship, her character to me just fell apart. Like the writing for her character just fell apart for me. I don't know who was in charge of writing this drama, but they had no idea what they were doing because this drama flips back and forth so quickly that it really is like a Wattpad book. The biggest thing for me is that the female lead is meant to be this very much like, I don't believe in love, I don't fall in love easily type of person. And it's supposed to make the whole fact of him trying to get with her for not good reasons more like, oh, like he has to put in work, and that's ultimately what leads him to like fall in love with her or whatever, you know? But literally, it would be like one episode, she'd find something out, I should be like, I never want to see you again, and like close the door and be like, I'm done with you. And then the next episode, she's like, I forgive you. And I'm like, what are you doing? What do you mean? Like, give me at least like 2 episodes of you being like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, also the way, like, this man was at some points treating her like dirt. And she was just so like, oh, it's because you don't know how to love. And I'm like, girl. And like a lot of people love the trio. Like a lot of people ride hard for the trio.
I do cut evil at one point.
That's what I think is like, here's the one thing I will say good about this drama is I do think everyone in the trio got what they deserved in the end because of their own actions. But there was like parts where they were literally full on evil. Like they were planning to ruin this girl's life for no fault of her own. Like she didn't do anything. It was a completely third party that showed interest in her, and they were like, oh, well, to hurt him, we gotta pick her.
And
You're like,
because Guyana's character was messed up, that's why she was jealous. She wanted the attention. That's why it was so good. Ugh. I love your points. Like it was so bad. I'm like, but yeah, I get your points. I do get your points because I didn't like the adult storyline with like the corporation.
I hated the parent storyline. I hated it.
Mine also, Minjae is all up and down this list because mine is Dolly and Cocky Prince.
Oh, yeah.
Another show that I felt had so much potential, but then from your point of view from Tempted, I felt the same way, is they started writing Dolly's character for the plot once she got with the main guy, Minjae's character. Like, she lived alone in wherever she was. Was she in England? But then, like, Minjae's how she doesn't know how to wash dishes. You live on your own. You know how to wash dishes, and that bubbles are going everywhere. Like, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I got to episode 10, couldn't finish it. And then the, like, big storyline that was supposed to be so crazy. And then when I found out what it was, I was like, are you kidding me?
My all-time favorite drama, and this has been my number 1 favorite for years now, and I honestly don't think anything's ever gonna replace it, and that is Oh My Ghost.
Yes! That was my first K-drama, so it's in the number 1 somewhere for both of us.
Love this drama so much. It was the first drama I ever completed. I think it was like the 3rd one I ever watched, and I literally stand by this drama to this day. To give you an overview, our main female lead, we actually have like 2 main female leads, which I think is pretty interesting. So one is like a assistant chef in a kitchen, and she wants to eventually work her way up to being like a chef, you know? And she also has a crush on her boss, who is the owner and head chef of a restaurant. Main female lead is a ghost who died, and she hasn't moved on yet, and the shaman lady is like, you need to go, you need to get out of here. And she thinks the reason why is because she's never had an intimate relationship with someone. And so she stumbles across our other main female lead, and she's like, they work a deal. She's like, if you let me possess your body, I'll help you achieve your goals. I'll get you that job, and I'll get you with your boss. And it goes through the whole thing, and so much comedy. There are a little heavy parts, but everything is just so good. And I love this drama so much. The twists, the plot twist that happens when you find out certain things. I was like,
Yes.
so good. So good. It came out in 2015. So like that's what, 7 years now. But I'm like, it still holds up.
Mine is Hit the Top, Kim Min Jae Recovery number 1. He's kind of like the second lead character in there. Anyways, I love Hit the Top. It's another one where I've like never laughed so hard in my life before. I think the whole storyline is so good. It's also how I started saying WJSN, so spin a place in my heart bonus.
Yeah.
Basically, we have like kind of two male leads. One wants to be an idol, and he's like, I want to be an idol, but his dad's like, no, right? But then we have this idol from like the 90s or the 80s, and then somehow he time travels to the future, and like he stumbles upon this kid. I don't know how it's revealed, so I'm not gonna like reveal, but he stumbles upon him, and he's like, listen, I need to stay with you, like I have nowhere to go. And he's like, all right, fine, you can stay with me. And then it's just about friendship, family, and it's so funny, like being an idol. I love the vibes. If you want a show that has immaculate, spectacular vibes, this is the one. And if you want a good Kim Min Jae drama, this is the one.
Addicts 3 of his drama.
No, it makes me so mad because he's genuinely so funny. So when he's like being funny, like in the show, he like not carries because it's also good, but like he gets characters that are like angry. That's his thing because he can like his yelling voice scares me. If you have assumed because Kim Min Jae has been in so many of these like bad dramas that were like not good, does not mean he's a horrible actor. Is what we're trying to say at the end of the day. So many good like comical actors. When they're in K-dramas, you're like, ooh, this is gonna be a funny one. They're in it.
Yeah.
And the storyline is very amazing. It's a display. It's told perfectly well because we deal with the past and the future, but normally those aren't told very well, in my opinion. But those are good. Those are scrumptious.
I've never watched it.
No, Mac, you're lying to me.
I've never watched it. I've seen the trailer for it.
You need to watch it. Oh my god, hopefully this has convinced her.
All right, everyone. We're finally to the last ones, our least favorite dramas. Mine, the actual despise I have for this drama is ridiculous. Again, I think it's another drama you either love or you hate. I personally hate, which is, of course, Nevertheless.
No.
I knew she was going to have this reaction because she likes this drama.
That was a 10 out of me. No way.
Let me tell you something. The female lead irritated me. She was irritating. The main male lead, I hated him. I'm like, this guy.
Oh my gosh, she's always.
I like the side characters in this drama much more than the main characters. Like, I love the little lesbian couple. I was like, yes. Mr. Potato Boy, I love Potato Boy. The way I was so, like, a Potato Boy person. Literally, when this drama was coming out, me and Hannah were texting, and I was talking about Potato Boy. But, like, the main female is just so dumb in this drama. She gets out of this awful relationship with this awful man. What he did to her absolutely disgusted me. I was like, first of all, restraining order. Because of it, she's like, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship. And then she chooses the worst man that she could ever be in a relationship with. This man has no ability to be in a committed relationship of any kind. And he's so upfront about it. And she, of course, at first is like, okay, I'm okay with that. And then what happens? She's not okay with that. And it goes, and I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, I know. No. And she leads on Mr. Potato Boy, and I was so peeved off about that. And it's again one of those things where every time, one episode, she will look at main male lead, Mr. Butterfly Guy, and she'll be like, we're done, we're through. And because he can't deal with someone breaking up with him, he's like, let me keep coming back. And she takes him back every time. And I'm like, girl, save yourself the heartache.
It was so good because it's like it made sense why she did that. It was explained her character traits. So yeah, she didn't have any growing up. She didn't have any changes. If you're looking for character development, this is not the show.
There's no character development.
But That's why I like that. I like the realism. I get why people don't like it, but then I also notice like aspects of the show, like they use color, what's it called, like color palettes to describe things, and I was like, that's just a masterpiece in my mind. So
I could have forgiven all of what I just said if the ending was different.
the ending makes sense. That's why
No,
I like it.
no,
It makes
no.
sense.
Here's the thing. I didn't even want her to end up with Potato Boy because I'm like, Potato Boy's too good for you. They're Potato Boy. I honestly wanted her to end up by herself because I feel like that would have given character development. Like if she was like, I need to take time to heal myself instead of trying to heal it through a toxic relationship. But she literally gets with the main male lead, and in her like monologue that's going on, is she literally is like, this isn't gonna last, but she still gets with him.
How that's why it's so good. I liked it. I've grown and I can see your opinion. I just don't respect it. I just disagree with you. Anyways, this is your least favorite, so no hate.
Yeah.
My least favorite was The Smile Has Left Your Eyes. Yes, I hated it so much. It had so much potential. I literally have a whole paragraph on why I think it was the worst K-drama I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna put Instagram the full thing I wrote after I finished it, because I wrote a full like monologue. Find that on our Instagram. But I didn't like it because everything was too all over the place for me. I'm gonna spoil. Sorry, spoilers ahead. It was so like, I like it, oh I don't like it, oh I like it, oh I don't like it. And then that sibling, we thought they were siblings? No, I didn't like that. That disgusted me. I wanted to vomit. 2, we moved on from a death so quick. That was her so-called best friend and dating her like guy she was interested in, kind of, sort of, whatever, ends up being interested in. And then she dies. And it's not even like, oh, she dated you, I don't know, like you helped her, I shouldn't date you because like you helped her. It was like, well, my brother isn't gonna like this. Your brother doesn't like anything. Your brother's crazy. And her brother was like, he had the most dramatic moves I've ever seen. When he stabbed him, God, what are you doing? It just peeved me off. It had so much potential to be so good. In the beginning, I liked it so much. It was so fun. It was so wishy-washy. But then I started thinking about every character's freaking moves, and I was like, no, this is stupid, in my opinion. And then I didn't watch the ending. The ending, I Googled it because I was like, I'm not watching this. That was so sad. I want to cry. I did want to cry for the ending, but I think I just had high hopes for it. So then when it didn't meet the standards, I was upset.
All right, everyone. That's it. That's our full list. Our 5 favorite, 5 least favorites.
And 5 least favorites.
Just,
Oh, that makes sense. Well, because favorite to me, I'm like, oh, you're so positive. So I guess that threw me off. But don't judge me. She always judges me. Like, you would think we're best friends, she would just like not judge me. But whatever.
I think because I am your best friend, I should be allowed to judge you like the second most.
No, I would assume that you think good of me all the time. Anyways, I've learned some things, I guess. Let's resolve this conflict.
Not kidding. No, we're gonna turn this off, and she's gonna start yelling at me. She's gonna give me a whole lecture about my behavior. She's like, oh my
No,
god, I can't
I
believe
don't
you
lecture.
did that. Why do you bully me so much?
I don't lecture. I cry and complain. I don't.
Do
Do
you
I
also?
lecture? I have lecture trauma. Please don't tell me I lecture. Do I lecture?
No.
I do. Oh my god, tell me when I do that, because I got some trauma. You need to stop me immediately. Thank you guys for watching so much.
Yep, thank you. If you want, leave down in the comment section below your top 5 favorite and top 5 least favorite K-dramas.
Yep.
And if you watched any of the ones we mentioned, let us know what you thought about it.
Oh yeah, let us know if you agree or disagree with us. That's fun.
Imagine like someone's all top 5 is one of our like least favorite.
That would honestly be so funny. Anyways, thanks for watching us argue and rant and all that.
Yep, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
No.